The Patriots have fallen quite far from their successes during the days of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, but I believe this is the season that changes everything for them. I don't think it's outrageous to say that the Patriots could go from 4-13 last season to making the playoffs this year. As a Patriots fan, last year was tough to live through. Gerard Mayo was not the same defensive mind that Bill Belichick was, and although we kind of knew that going into things, I had at least hoped that he would be able to properly implement a defensive system that had success, if not to the levels of Bill Belichick. This didn't happen at all. Mayo was fired after the season, rightfully so, and Mike Vrabel was hired just 1 week later. I've discussed this series of events before, but ultimately it was the correct decision for the team and the first step in a 3-step, we'll call it, plan to fix the biggest issues facing the team. The first step, as mentioned, was to fix the issue of coaching. Patriots players last season complained about how relaxed Gerard Mayo was. His laid-back nature and lack of strict structure like the players were used to under Belichick was something that led to the team's downfall. Vrabel has already established a new culture in New England, one much closer to the Belichick-led Patriot way than the relaxed Gerard Mayo system that failed so spectacularly. The addition of a new head coach also meant a brand new staff with all new coordinators and assistants, something else that needed improvement in the coaching room from last season. The Patriots bringing in Josh McDaniels was a stroke of brilliance at offensive coordinator. We've seen a wave of young, talented offensive coordinators bringing new life to teams just to be poached away after one season of success, which would leave us right back at square one on offense. McDaniels is much less likely to be poached. With 2 failed head coaching stints under his belt already, even if he does lead a spectacularly successful offense, he should not be hired as a head coach due to his failures. He has proven time and time again with the Patriots that he could lead a successful offense, but on other teams, he just could not lead a full team. The coaching improvements alone give me hope for this season, but that's before the draft. That's before free agency. That's before any roster moves have even taken place. This is just the coaching staff, which is such a vast improvement on last season that I already think that's enough to get us back to a place where we are somewhat competitive. The second step was addressing the offensive line. The Patriots' offensive line last year ranked 31st in pass block win rate and 32nd in run block win rate, meaning that they were the worst team at blocking for the run and the second worst team in the league at pass blocking. While they didn't make any huge blockbuster trades or huge free agency additions on the offensive line, they brought in quality talent. They brought in Morgan Moses as an improvement at right tackle, Will Campbell through the draft at left tackle, and Garrett Bradbury at center. Those are all the projected starters that were not on the team at all last season. While these aren't guaranteed hits, and they all do have their flaws, they're all improvements over the unit from last year, and hopefully will lead to a much better season for the unit as a whole. Health was also an issue for the Patriots in more ways than one, but specifically on the offensive line, so hopefully that's another area that can be improved. If Cole Strange is able to play a full season at left guard, and Mike Onwenu doesn't have to split his time between right tackle and right guard because of more health and success from Morgan Moses at right tackle, this will essentially be a brand new unit from what we saw last year. The final step was to address the offensive skill positions. Running back and wide receiver were a weaker unit for the team in 2024. Hunter Henry was our leading receiver, and while he's good, having a leading receiver with just 674 yards is not a good look. Only the Saints and Panthers had receiving leaders with fewer yards on their teams, and the Saints were dealing with injuries to Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed, and the Panthers, well, they're the Panthers. Ramondre Stevenson was the Patriots' leading rusher. He had 207 attempts for 800 yards, so just about 4 yards an attempt is solid, but his real issue was his 7 fumbles throughout the season. He really had an issue with the drops and couldn't get it in check. The Patriots made additions at both positions, bringing in Stephon Diggs, Kyle Williams, Mac Hollins, and Efton Chisholm III at receiver, and bringing in Travion Henderson at running back. Diggs is going to be an amazing target for Drake May, a reliable veteran who may not factor into the Patriots' long-term plans a few years down the road, but he will most likely lead the team in receiving in 2025. Diggs was instrumental in Josh Allen's development in Buffalo, and even though he's a bit older now, a bit more years under his belt, and maybe not the same player he used to be, the hope is that he has a similar effect on Drake May. Kyle Williams is a talented young receiver from Washington State, drafted in the 3rd round, who will likely see the field early in his rookie season. Being able to learn from Diggs as their similar style receivers will also aid in his development, and the hope is that he and Drake May are going to be a terrifying duo for the league to face for the next 10 years or so. Mac Hollins probably won't make as big of an impact with the other additions at receiver, but having a veteran presence who has also played alongside Josh Allen, who I only bring up because of the similarities between him and Drake May, it can't be a bad thing. Efton Chisholm is kind of the most interesting name on this receiver list. He's an undrafted free agent out of Eastern Washington, where he broke Cooper Kupp's single-season receptions record. He also happens to be just a perfect candidate to be the modern-day Julian Edelman or Wes Welker in Josh McDaniels' new-look Patriots offense. Not just because he's white, but because he's a shifty slot guy who maybe flew under the radar in college. He just kind of fits that same mold. Normally, I wouldn't talk this much about an undrafted free agent, but I think Chisholm could not only end up making the final 53-man roster, but actually seeing the field and making an impact, especially just because of how Josh McDaniels feels about those smaller, shiftier slot guys. Finally, in the second round of this past draft, the Patriots added running back Travion Henderson out of Ohio State. He's a great pass-catching and pass protection back with explosive speed and great hands, as well as some stellar blitz pickups. And while I don't expect him to be running back one from week one, I do still think Ramondre Stevenson leads the backfield, at least at the start. I would be absolutely floored to see someone of his talents completely riding the bench, and I would honestly expect him to encroach on Ramondre Stevenson's snaps, if not eventually taking the RB1 role from him entirely by the end of the season. These improvements, alongside the defensive additions that I didn't even mention, Milton Williams and Carlton Davis bringing talent to the defensive line and the DB room, alongside bringing in Harold Landry, who's familiar with Mike Vrabel, and draft additions of Braden Swinson and Joshua Farmer. These guys are all guys who will rotate in, who will make an impact, who will improve the defense, one of the units that I said really needed to be improved from a year ago, and will hopefully take some pressure off the offense to perform at its peak efficiency, but I still think the offense will perform at that level that is needed. So this team is poised to shoot for the moon. Drake May is set up for a huge breakout. The team around him is now ready to support him, and the sky truly is the limit for the Patriots. As always, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know what team you think will be the biggest shock this year and who will burst onto the scene, maybe individual players if you have any. And also let me know if you think I'm overestimating the Patriots' potential. As a Patriots fan, my bias can definitely step in there. So definitely let me know if you think that I'm overreacting to the moves made this offseason. I just think the Patriots have had basically as perfect of an offseason as they could have hoped, improving the units that needed improvement. And like I said, as always, drop your thoughts down in the comments below. Stick around for more off-season content. This style of video was made off of an article that I wrote about the Patriots, from their performances in 2024 to the moves they made in the offseason in 2025 to the draft. If you would like to see an article about a different team, I am writing them. I'm trying to get one for every single one of the 32 teams. If there's one in particular you want me to write, I'm going division by division right now, but I'm almost done with the AFC East. I've got Patriots and Bills and Dolphins done. Just got to upload those and then get Jets done as well. For the next division that I take over, if there's any ones that you want to read, definitely let me know down in the comments below. Check out the link to my Substack in the description if you do want to check those articles out. It's basically just what I went over in this video, but in text form. So if you prefer reading articles like that instead of watching videos like this, definitely check that out. And with all of that, deuces.